Good morning. Welcome back to House of Prep. My name's Jerry. I live just outside of Nashville here in Tennessee. So jump in the comments and give me some updates about your areas, and then come back later, read everybody else's comments. Thursdays are always a lot of fun. All right, so I haven't done this style of video in a little while. I also have a taste test, guys. I haven't done that in a while. I saw some canned chicken and dumpling products. They had 2 or 3 different brands. This one seemed to be the one that people were buying up, and that's usually a good sign for me to kind of try it. Excuse me. So we're going to try this here in just a few minutes. I've already got some in another can that I opened, and we're going to talk about it. So put that to a side just temporarily. Produce looked way better today. The thumbnail I did was more on the canned products, I believe, is what I did. And we'll talk about that too. But produce side looks way better. They were better stocked, and the quality of different lettuces and things like that seemed to be a little bit better. So Pillsbury. Now these Pillsbury rolls are from last week that we picked up a week ago. My wife and I have been shopping, looking for different things. These had been really hard to find, and a lot of you will attest to that. Biscuits, rolls, all the canned stuff like that, that's pre-made, very hard to find. So today I went and checked that section, same, empty, totally empty. So I would not have had any if I didn't stock up on these a week ago. Just an example. Now, is that survival food? Am I buying that, to freeze dry it and stuff? Maybe. No. But hey, there's comfort foods. There are things that we eat on a week-to-week basis that our family enjoys. And if you see it and you know it's hard to find, you better grab a couple, because it's going to disappear again. That's what keeps happening over and over again. Chip aisle's finally recovering from the big weekend, from the big game. Got to have some Doritos around the house. Different types of items like ketchup and mayonnaise and dressings. I was able to find everything I needed on those. And those are just good to have backups. That's what these are. These aren't something I'm getting into soon. These are backups. Just watch your dates. Remember, get a Sharpie, mark your containers, make it real easy to see those dates. Gatorades have really kind of been more steady. If you remember, for a long time, those were just hard to find over and over and over again for weeks and weeks and weeks. And here lately, even though not fully stocked, they are easier to obtain. And that's a good thing, because I like those working out, going to the Y, and having some Gatorade on hand is always nice. Breakfast section, just real decimated today. Just real breakfast bars in particular, all your health bars, breakfast bars, protein bars, diet bars, all that stuff. Just super empty. All kinds of holes. Mashed potatoes, instant potatoes had been another one that's come and go. Sometimes we get those packages. Also like to keep on hand the boxes. Super cheap. Got like $1.80 for, a box of instant potatoes, and it makes lots and lots of potatoes. The dates on these, you just have to be careful. They're not long dated at all. I know you can eat them past the expiration date or whatever, this Best By date. So, but it's something you don't want to like overstock. I wouldn't stock, tons of 5-gallon buckets full of instant potatoes. Probably not a good investment decision on that. Okay, guys, don't forget things like aluminum foil. If you use wax paper, maybe you get those gallon storage bags for when you're doing preps, freezer bags. When you're trying to break up a good sale of meat and put some in the freezer, and you want to wrap it up in some, paper and then put it in a Ziploc freezer bag. But these are just things that you use, and being able to throw this on the grill, cover up your grill, especially if you're in a grid down situation and you're doing a lot of your cooking outdoors on the grill. Easy cleanup. You don't have a lot of extra water to spare maybe, and you just toss that away when you're done with it, one piece at a time, right? Yeah, canned goods. A little better stocked. I was able to get the soups that we like. We like this Chunky, the New England clam chowder. So they were back in stock. Different, just variety stuff that we get here and there. super good. All the cheap, great value stuff was back in stock. Again, carrots, beans, black-eyed peas, whatever it is that your fancy is. At least in my area, canned goods were better. Pastas, if you remember, pastas had been kind of hit or miss, and those had been a lot better. So anyway, let's go to this real quick. This here is, I need to do a shout out too. Jean sent me a little money to buy me some Diet Wild Cherry Pepsis. So I appreciate that so much, Jean. Thank you so much for that. I meant to say a shout out at the beginning, so hopefully you've watched it this far. So chicken and dumplings in a can. I've never had them in a can. Now my wife makes them from scratch. You can go to Cracker Barrel and get them, your grandma's recipe, whatever your fancy is. But I figured, with all the different foods that we stock, sometimes you're looking for a little variety, something that's easy to make. So my first time buying it, $2.44 a can. And check the ounces. It's 1.5 pounds, 1 pound, 8 ounces, 24 ounce can. So it's a good, hefty amount for $2.50, not too shabby. Let's see what this date is on here, and I'll show you. January 5th, 2024. So, just pretty much like all your other canned goods. The dates, even though it seems like lately when you buy canned goods and things, you never know what kind of dates you're going to get. So I always look at dates when I buy stuff. I'll look at them in the front, and I'll look at them, I'll pull one from the back, and I always try to get the longest date. Just a good habit I've gotten on, into many years ago. So I'm sure there's sodium and stuff like that in here. Let's take a quick look. And I made a little dish here. I heat some up in the microwave. Calories per serving, 190. Total fat, 5 grams, which, if you're kind of surviving off preps, you're going to want some of that. See, there it is, high sodium. With a lot of these canned goods or bagged, goods and things, sodium is going to be super high. It is the case in this. So when you're watching what you eat, I would use this as a supplement. I wouldn't buy like tons of this stuff, but if you're making some rice, I could see this go good with some rice, and, maybe mix it up and stretch it out a little further. But protein's 14 grams per serving. So that's not too shabby. So, but watch the sodium, okay? So let's get to the little bowl here I did. So I heated it up pretty good, and it had some of these, the dumpling parts that I had to kind of like break up a little bit with my spoon. And it's pretty much like canned chicken, like, you would get in a can, but obviously they've made it at their place, supposedly made from scratch, right? That's what it said on the container. Sweet Sue. So I heat this up. Now, before I take a bite, if you notice my spoon, let's talk about spoons real quick. This is a House of Prep preference, okay? This is Jerry's preference. You may have different preferences. So the one that I have in the bowl is a tablespoon. Then, you have your teaspoon size, right? Like so, that's teaspoon. And then you got some that have the long handle, it's a smaller head like that. That's great for ice cream. I don't like brain freezes, and I don't like my teeth freezing when I'm eating ice cream and stuff like that. So this is my go-to for eating ice cream. And I like the long handle too, because sometimes if you're eating like one of those pints or something and you're getting down in there, you don't want ice cream getting all up on your handle while you're chowing down, right? When you're doing some business, you want to keep this upper section up here nice and clean so you don't get it all over your hands. So you didn't know how technical I am with stuff, did you? Teaspoons in general, I don't like to use a whole lot, because when I'm eating any type of food with spoons, like just normal eating dinner and things, I like to go with the tablespoon. My family knows that that's just what I do. I'm a little spoiled. I like certain things like that. So enough about spoons. I just thought that'd be a fun thing that you could talk about if you're kind of like me and you like specific things when you're eating your meals. We'll talk about forks on another day. So I'm going to get some of this broth in here, and then with the dumplings and the chicken. And I'm going to take a little taste of this, okay? I'm going to try not to drip it everywhere. All right, not as good as my wife's, okay? I wouldn't say it's as good as Cracker Barrel's. But you know what? It's not bad. Not at all. One thing that kind of, it gives you ideas of recipes and stuff on the back, which you could do anything. It said, hey, if you're opening up a can of this, open up a can of carrots, open up a can of peas, dump those bad boys in here. I drain them first and then dump them in here. Mix it all up together and you get yourself a nice meal. So if you're having to get into your preps, just another way to stretch out your food and something different. That's pretty good. I could make a meal of that. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I hadn't done this style of a Thursday video in a while, so I wanted to kind of get back to the old school of doing it and just kind of have some fun. I like having some fun while we prep. Prepping doesn't have to be a chore. It can be a hobby. Believe it or not, you can have fun preparing. I do have a lot of fun. You guys take care. Appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Hit your thumbs up if you don't mind for this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye now.